SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Have you been seriously injured? Mama Justice is here for you. Our medical team partners with top-notch doctors, surgeons, therapists, and urologists, ensuring a comprehensive recovery journey. If you've been injured, call Mama Justice today. We're here for you.
So I'll pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, roll A, fade up on A.
Southern Miss to the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. Back on the road, day 2. Great venue today at Buffalo Wild Wings, where you come and watch all the sports you can imagine and eat good food. We're glad to be down here and appreciate Buffalo Wild Wings having us in their building. Dima's back with us today. Bob, Kelly, we're all here. And everybody's sufficiently full, I think, from lunch. Is that right?
Well, I haven't eaten, but you guys tell me all the time how full of it I am. So.
Well, I called Kelly on the way down here, and I was just hoping he'd answer the phone. He actually didn't, so that's no surprise there. But I was going to ask, hey, man, do you mind ordering for me? And I get here. He hadn't even eaten, so then I was pretty happy because that meant there was food left.
Yeah, well, we were pleased at that. What are you going to have, like a 7-course meal after the show, Kelly?
President Trump says I'm not at liberty to discuss it. So.
Jay Ladner is at liberty to discuss a lot of things with us. He's a good friend of ours and the head basketball coach at Southern Miss, and it's always, of course, a great pleasure to have him on the Eagle Hour. And, Coach, thanks for coming on. We're kind of a loud, noisy place, so we'll do our best to hear you. But kind of update us on some new signees that you've brought into the basketball program, because I know in today's world of college sports, this is a really important time of the year for you.
We've been on well, first of all, Bob and Dima and of course Kelly, appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all mentioned y'all are at Buffalo Wild Wings. Of course, that's one of my favorite places there in Hattiesburg to go. Love to eat wings. I love to eat. Of course, you can look at me and tell me to tell that. But I'm actually y'all talking about how loud it is there. I am driving from Destin, Florida. I wish I was on vacation, but I'm not, from the Sun Belt meetings. So the head football coaches, men's basketball, women's basketball, and athletic administrators are all in Destin, have been there since Monday night. And the men's coaches just got done. Men's basketball coaches just got done about an hour and a half ago, I guess, 11:30 or so. And so we're headed. I'm actually driving back home. I just left Buc-ee's. Y'all know where Buc-ee's is.
Oh, yeah.
I had to stop and get me a triple meat sandwich. But anyway, wish I was there. Wish I was there with you guys. But we've been on. You talk about recruiting. We've been on a perpetual visit, and I mean literally like one player to the next, really since the day the season was over with. Every weekend, I actually gave our staff off today because USM has graduation, and you can't get to the offices because of parking and so forth. And so I just told our staff today, I said, y'all go home. And we had gotten a signee yesterday, big signee for a kid named Brandon Weston, and that's gonna fill out our roster. And so anyway, I told them to celebrate, take the rest of the day off, and but I do want to talk about a few of our guys, and I will start with Brandon Weston. He is a young man, played at Tennessee State. First team All-Ohio, the Ohio Valley Conference, plays great basketball. He was first team All-League. 2 years ago, last year, he tweaked his knee in the preseason. The rest of the year after they had, got his knee straightened out. But we've had him checked out by all of our medical people. We've got great medical staff. Southern Bone and Joint people take care of us really well. And he's been a clean bill of health. So nationally, we're getting some some national exposure off of that sign. So we're very excited about him. But we really, of course, you never know how these guys are going to, on paper, everything looks great. Everybody's had a great signing class. But, it's how they all come together. So a big thing for us in recruiting is recruiting the right kind of young man. Good players, but good character guys, because you're only going to have them 7 or 8 months, and we got to figure out a way to get them to play as a team and to win. And that, of course, I say this all the time. It's the teams in this day and time. You'll see teams disintegrate during the year. They just fall apart. And that was one of the great things about last year's team is they hung in there, even though we lost a key player to injury. They hung in there, and then when he came back, we kind of took off. So, but anyway, so I got some other guys to go over if I have time.
Coach, I have a question for you. One of the kids you signed, Elliott Tulip. It's a funny story. I actually played against him in homeschool basketball when he was at the Meridian Flyers before he went on to high school. He transferred to a high school, but it's just funny. It's just cool kind of story. Yeah. And it actually, I didn't know if you knew this or not, but the homeschool league we played in, he's actually the first signee ever to come out of our league. So it's kind of a big deal just for my league to get a
Yeah, no, Dean. Again, hey, if he can. If you're giving me your stamp of approval on him because you played against him, then we've done pretty good. So
I'll just tell you that he just about made every 3-pointer that he shot when we played against him, and there's nothing we could do.
Yeah, that's a great story in itself. His dad is a doctor in Meridian. Elliott comes from a great family. Elliott, of course, I did not realize the homeschool part. He did play his last 2 years at Southeast Lauderdale High School. And he was on our radar a little bit then. He signed with West Alabama, has had a great run there, and you just mentioned can really shoot it. It's got great size. I think a lot of our guys, one of the frustrating things that part of our team last year is I didn't think that we shot the ball well enough from the outside. I mean, even in our last semifinal game there in the tournament against Troy, it hurt us because we only had. We were 2 of 19 from the 3 and lose a close game. And really what most people felt like was for the league championship there in the semifinals. But Elliott Tulip's a great one. He's, of course, a guy that I was going to mention, so you kind of covered him. A couple of guys, or really a number of guys, Mike Montano, averaged 29 and 12. He's a D2 player coming from Frostburg State in Maryland. Big left-hander, 6'8", can really play. Really excited about him. Cameron Wallace, big kid, played at University of Arkansas Little Rock, 13 and 7, all-league player. Jaliek Gaines Wyatt played at Hampton last year, but we got the eyes on him because he had played at Tiny Woods. They're just south of Jackson and a couple of years at Alcorn. So a really seasoned point guard. He's from Brooklyn, New York originally. I like big city point guards. I like their toughness. So that's a good sign. Another name to keep an eye on is Anthony Agidi. He is a Baton Rouge kid, but he played at West Florida. All-league player there, average 15. Big, strong player. Cy Merritt played at Southwest Mississippi Community College. 6'5" guard. I love our positional size. I think we've got great positional size with our entire roster. Big kid named Marcus Overstreet played come out of California, Cal Santa Barbara. Really good player. I can go on and on because it's something because we've got to have all these new players. Camden Cerise, a Division II kid out of Florida. Dorian Bowen, one of the top 12 players out of Indiana, high school kid, but he's originally from Grenada, Mississippi. He just played his last year of high school in Indiana. DeAndre Harvey's a player coming from IMG Academy down in Florida, a freshman. And then I really like our guys that are coming back from last year's team. Brewer Carew, Blake Landor, who got hurt last year. That was a big loss to us, but he's fully healthy now. Chandler Watt, hurt in the preseason last year. Another one, Falou Gagne, played a good bit for us last year, and E.J. Freeman. That's the core guys coming back, returning from last year's team. So really excited about it, and I really give a hats off to our assistant coaches. They have worked incredibly hard.
Well, Coach, we know that you've already proven you can take kids from Southwest Community College and make millionaires out of them. So.
that's our selling point. We've got, and I mean that. We tell them, come to Southern Miss, we make millionaires. So
Jay, can I run a couple suicides and maybe you could pay me? I don't even want $1 million. I just take 20,000.
Dima, look, you of course wore Elliott Tulip out. And when y'all were playing in high school. So, look, if you can beat Elliott, then you're good enough to play for us. Hey, come on. We'll give you a shot.
I actually think it was the other way around.
Yeah, I think it was the other way around.
Thank you, Coach Ladner. We appreciate you very much, sir.
Well, that was pretty good off the top of his head.
Y'all having me on. I'm on the Mobile Bridge here. Tons of traffic. But I do appreciate y'all having me on. Look forward to the next time.
All right, thanks, Coach Ladner. More from Buffalo Wild Wings after this. Stay with us.
Big news from Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel. We've moved. You'll now find us directly behind our old building, right by Sawmill Animal Hospital. We're still your trusted electrical distributor, carrying everything from conduit to tape. And don't forget our full line of Milwaukee tools. Whether you're a contractor or a DIY pro, stop by the new Robinson Electric Supply at 1222 West 6th Street and see what's lighting up Laurel. Robinson Electric Supply. New location, same trusted service.
Southern Miss to the top. To the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. SuperTalk Eagle Hour on the road at Buffalo Wild Wings here in Hattiesburg. Not a cooler venue to do the show from than here. Dima, Bob, and Kelly all here in the great restaurant. And we've got Gabby on the phone. Gabby is the general manager of Buffalo Wild Wings. And Gabby wanted to talk to you for just a minute. And first of all, thank you for allowing us to come back down to your restaurant. Always a really great place to do a sports talk show.
Of course. We always love to have you.
Well, Gabby, talk a little bit about Buffalo Wild Wings. A lot of people are going to be in town this weekend. Senior Day at Southern Miss Baseball. Graduations taking place. Lots of reasons to come to Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We want everybody to come see us. We want to take care of y'all. We want to make people... We want people to have fun. We got a fun atmosphere. We always have something going on when there's sports events in town, and it's the best time for us. So it's always an exciting time. So hopefully the people that come in, they can feel that excitement and join in. And
sure.
Yeah.
Well, the atmosphere is perfect. There's no question. And I have to say, I know it's a national advertisement, but what a cool campaign your company has going with the giant buffalo. I just can't tell you how entertaining those commercials
Hank's
are.
Best. We love Hank.
That's
Hank's awesome. Yeah.
Maybe you could get Hank down here one day.
Yeah, I wish they would. I think they might start, because that's kind of new with the company. So it's just over the last few years, but it's done amazing for us.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll tell you what, Gabby, if you ever get Hank down here, you let us know, and we'll come here pro bono and do a show just to hang out with Hank. That'd be really
100%.
Cool.
We need Seymour, too.
Well, Kelly could be Hank. I mean, all you need is some fur and some horns.
There you go. We can even get him a suit.
Hank the Buffalo?
Yeah.
All right, Gabby, what is the number one thing people buy and eat when they come to Buffalo Wild Wings?
Oh, chicken wings, of course, but
there we go.
Our burgers are very, very good, and I think they're underrated because we got some really, really good burgers. The patty melt, the triple bacon burger, the bacon hatch burger. I mean, we got a good selection of burgers that people need to try if they haven't. But obviously chicken wings is what we're known for and what we want to sell. But everything else on the menu is delicious too.
I'm looking over here to the right. How many beers on tap do you guys have?
We got 40.
40 different beers.
Yep.
And IPAs to the regular ones that people have heard about, every single day.
So you could come a month and a week and never drink the same beer.
And I have.
Because we change our beers pretty frequently too. So. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you another thing you do really well. My wife and I just had one here. Is your Philly cheesesteak sandwich? That was really good.
Oh yeah.
Very, very good.
Oh yeah. The Philly, that's somewhat new. We got our sliders too, which are really good.
Yeah.
Well, you can also get a chicken cheesesteak. So.
Oh, okay. It all sounds good. Well, look, it's a great place for people who are in town for Southern Miss baseball this weekend. Obviously, this is where you should come. Enjoy a meal. Also with graduation, and again, and as always, Gabby, thank you very, very much for having the Eagle Hour here in your great restaurant.
Of course, anytime. Thank y'all for being there.
Okay. Best of wishes to you, Gabby, the general manager here at Buffalo Wild Wings. And this is a really cool place to come in.
I know a lot of guys that still play fantasy football and stuff, and they'll have their league. They'll get the 8 or 10 guys together, and they'll come to Buffalo Wild Wings. And Buffalo Wild Wings has such an outreach to fantasy football players that Buffalo Wild Wings will provide you with a kit, a fantasy football kit, where you can actually they'll provide you with the rosters and stuff that you hang on the wall and the stickers and the play. So this is, if you're doing fantasy football this fall, which drafts will be starting in July, and I know we sit there and go July. It'll be here. It'll be here before you know it. There's no other place to have fantasy football drafts than here.
So, Gabby, again, we thank you very much for your time, dear, and thank you so much for having the show down here again today.
Of course. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great day.
All right, same to you. Back, I used to come down here some on Sundays to watch the team formerly known as the Redskins, and it would be so cool because there would be fans from all these different teams, and I would always go over in the corner over there. It would just be me and myself watching the Redskins.
I was going to say, they were fans of other teams, but not very many Redskin fans. But,
and then you'd have to go down to the Depression Center to find the Bengals fans. So
yeah, well, you would.
We're in therapy at this time.
And now I just sing songs like "Hey You" on Sundays and stuff. I think of Lionel Richie, and I play him on my stereo at home and cry that they're no longer a team.
Did you guys talk about the all-you-can-eat appetizers?
No, but we know you will.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you'll come in and want to hang out. You're not you're not hungry, or you've already eaten, and the spur of the moment you come in here and have a libation or whatever. And they've got
a libation.
You can look that up, Dima. You were homeschooled.
Hey, so was Elliot too.
Yeah, that you wore out.
And he's playing basketball.
Yeah,
he'll be a millionaire next year.
He will be.
You won't, but keep trying, Dima.
I'm not going to be anywhere close to a million.
Actually, he was born into millions.
Come on, let's go.
Okay. All right. So the all-you-can-eat appetizers. So you just pay one price, and you can the onion rings or any of the other.
Why didn't nobody tell me about that when I got here today?
Because they're all out. Because Kelly already cleaned them out.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I'm sure Kelly just Googles whenever when you look up places to eat to lunch. All Kelly says is all you can eat.
That's it.
That's all he looks up. He doesn't look for anything other than that. All you can eat.
Yeah, I pressed the phone. And I said all you can eat places near me.
That's right.
But that's a way that if you don't want to have a big meal, that's a way that you can. Take care of things.
Guys, I'm going to tell you something. I just sense this almost giddiness in the community right now about baseball. There's so much to play for. We're right here at the end of the regular season. Do you guys sense that as well? I mean, I think the town's really pretty cranked up right now about baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like, this is obviously the time of the year that everybody looks forward to. And no matter what's happened in the past, when they went through that lull, when they were having the great season to start, I mean, Ostrander has talked about how this is a season of chapters, the chapter of the great start, the chapter of the lull, and maybe now, the chapter of finishing strong. But then when postseason starts, it doesn't matter what your record is. It doesn't matter what your ERA is. It doesn't matter what your average is. You got to go compete and win games. And this team's proven they've been able to do that in the past. And, of course, the door they've been knocking on for so long, they've come so close. And, just could this be the year that they could finally break down that door? It'd be awesome to see. Of course, they got to go do it. But right now, I mean, you're set up nicely to do it in kind of your terms, right, where you could get a home regional and maybe even a potential home super regional and, hopefully play well in Montgomery next week. So, there's a lot of things going for Southern Miss right now as we sit here.
But I think it's almost kind of sad because as Southern fans, longtime Southern fans, no disrespect, Boy Wonder, but you almost are afraid to get too giddy because
I know.
do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Because you don't want to have to say, "Oh, that's so Southern Miss. They did a Southern Miss thing."
But here's
again.
the thing: the program has elevated itself to a point that the expectation is disappointment if you don't make a super regional or you don't make the World Series. Well, that's a good place to be in a lot of ways.
I honestly think that's a development over the last couple of years. I don't even think Southern Miss baseball felt that way about 8 years ago.
No, I think it came. I think it came when they
beat LSU. Yeah, and now the expectation is to not only host a regional but win regionals.
Correct.
But one of the things that's sad about that is look how
but it's so hard to do.
It is, and it takes so long to develop that reputation. But you could take the football program, on the other hand, it took so long to develop that strength and national recognition, and it can be gone overnight. It takes you forever to build it, but be gone overnight. And the baseball team has been able to keep that going for all these years. And really, when you look at the cupboard, the talent cupboard for the next couple of years, there's no reason to think they're going to go anywhere other than where they are.
Right. I think this year is proof of that.
Yes.
I think when you lose the star players that came off that team last year, and here you sit in this position, that tells you where the program is at.
I mean, those guys were so good, not only could they play baseball, they could make one of the finest pizzas in town.
A shortstop
that's
especially.
Talent, right?
Yeah, shortstop especially. They could probably win a few football games.
Yeah, Danny Reed with Georgia Southern.
Man, y'all wonder why we don't get the football coaches on here.
The voice of the Georgia Southern Eagles has agreed to come on the program here in just a little bit and talk briefly about
why would he
their
want to
season.
do that?
He said, how long do you need me for? I said, to get you on for about 5 minutes or so. He said, I'm always glad to talk about Georgia Southern athletics. I'm glad it's only 5 minutes.
I got to say something about Georgia Southern. With all due respect to that gentleman that's coached him for a long time, I was really shocked to see that he got an extension in light of just how bad they've been the last couple of years.
I think their focus has been on facilities. That the athletic director only wanted to juggle so many balls at one time, and with the $110 million facilities upgrade that they've got, what's going on with their program, I think he wanted to just focus on that. And Rodney Hennon is the coach, that you're talking about. He's the dean of coaches in baseball, and they really haven't had a clunker season until this year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if anybody deserves a second shot, it would be somebody like him. But when you talk to Danny Reed, he'll say, now next year might be a different story.
Yeah.
But for now.
Are they a dangerous team for the Eagles this weekend, Damon?
I mean, of course, I know we're going to the break, but, I llooked at their stats, and it's just about as bad as I think I've ever seen. I don't even know how a team could be that bad. They have an 8+ ERA, and they have. It's just awful stats.
All right, we're Buffalo Wild Wings. Got lots more guests coming up. Stats McGee next. Stay with us. More from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
All right, back at Buffalo Wild Wings here in Hattiesburg. Great venue, great place for you to come over the weekend. If you're in town for baseball, you certainly want to grab a meal down here. Quick note, baseball game tonight, a little unusual. 7 o'clock, not 6 o'clock.
And good luck with parking, because USM graduation getting out at the almost exact same time. So I know if you have a parking pass inside of Reed Green Coliseum, you probably won't be able to park there tonight. So I would try to show up early and get to the game early if you're heading to the game tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. Always that congestion this time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's also fewer spaces, Dima, at Reed Green, and why would that be?
You know what? Who knows?
Would it be construction?
Well,
no.
I've literally just thought that Jeremy McClain might have just put up a fence just to have people have us shut up.
Well, we have Patrick McGee from Hattiesburg on the show, otherwise known as Stats McGee. What are the statistical chances, Patrick, of construction actually starting at Reed Green this year?
I don't know. I haven't run the spreadsheets on that, but I'd have to plug in a formula to get that information. I haven't done that. So.
Would you run that formula and report to us next week? We'd be grateful to you for that.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, here's what I want to ask you. Last 3 games of the regular season. The scenario, in your opinion, of what Southern Miss has to do, if there's anything left they have to do, to secure a regional tournament here?
I think sweeping. I think sweeping would secure that. I think with the way the RPI is looking, I mean, right now they're number 9, but the Warren Nolan Impact Games projection had them losing 20 points per win for every win. So you're looking at dropping 60 spots for winning, and if you lose, it's projecting to drop 78 points. So at 2 out of 3 would potentially put you in that 16 to 17, mid-teens range of RPI where you would have to do some work heading into Montgomery. But I think if you were able to sweep, that would secure a host spot in Hattiesburg.
But what you're saying is that losing a game over the weekend, not what you want, obviously, but that alone would not end the regional hopes of hosting here.
Right. You would just have some work to do heading into Montgomery.
Okay. Guys?
Patrick, I mean, there's a chance here for Southern Miss to, of course, get the regular season title if things go well in Cajun land and Southern Miss does get that sweep. The D1 guys seem to think that Southern Miss would have a chance, therefore, at a top 8 seed. What say you? I mean, for me, it's kind of hard to believe because I really think Coastal even had better metrics last year, and they ended up the 13 seed. So I'm kind of in the believe it when I see it metric, but they seem to think there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, last year Coastal went 26-4 in the league, had the number 8 RPI, won the conference tournament, won their last 19 games of the regular season, ended up getting the 13th seed, like you said. So, I mean, it's a pretty high threshold for a team outside of the SEC, ACC, or Big 12 to get a top 8. So I think that's kind of working against them. And then also just the fact that you're going to, drop it probably at least 1 spot in RPI this week. Possibly, 2. I mean, you could drop anywhere from, with the sweep, you could go anywhere from 10 to 15. I mean, it probably won't be 15, but I mean, you could end up at 12 to 13. And that would be a little problematic, from an RPI perspective. Also, with the fact that, there's still a chance that they only get a share of the Sun Belt title. I think maybe if you somehow get that outright title, that would change things a little bit, just so you can say, well, we have the outright title, we're the number 1 seed, and, you can really claim that regular season title in the Sun Belt.
I looked at your projection and have it right in front of me, and you have Louisiana in as one of the last 5 teams in. So that's a change, right, that another Sun Belt team could get in, and then you had Texas State kind of right out on the first 5 out. So you think there's a chance this weekend for both those teams to maybe play their way into the tournament? I just think the bubble's pretty small, and there's a chance there.
Yeah, I think Coastal, by virtue of ULL, by virtue of playing Coastal, has more to gain. I mean, if they were to win that series, that would get them to 16 wins in the league. Their RPI would be decent enough, and they would be able to claim, series wins over the top 2 teams in the Sun Belt. I think that would be, big on the resume. I think you look at Texas State, though, their RPI is a little bit better, but they have the head-to-head sweep against ULL. But they're still a game behind, or they're a game below 500 in the league. So they really need to sweep this home series against Marshall, get them to 16-14, and that would kind of put them kind of squarely on the bubble heading into Montgomery.
Stats, when you crunch all these numbers, give me a statistic that even blows you away, good, bad, or indifferent, when it comes to this Southern Miss baseball team. What really sticks out to you of all the numbers that you keep?
Somebody brought this to my attention, and I put it on Twitter, but USM's record after tax day is like 90. They've won 90% of their games after tax day of the regular season. starting in 2023, and then the month before tax day is like less than 60%. So there's something about the tax deadline that somehow makes USM baseball play a whole lot better for some reason. So that's something that I found kind of odd and interesting.
We need an American flag to wave that they, like everybody else, we get messed up before taxes, after taxes, we're in a much better place. That
well,
is
I would think that
though.
would be a disadvantage for SEC teams because when tax day rolls around, all their players are very concerned about the liability, right?
You're in a higher bracket, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're in the highest bracket there is. Okay, Patrick, how important is the Sun Belt tournament to the Golden Eagles' postseason aspirations?
I mean, it could potentially be very important. I mean, I guess depending on if you're in that mix for a top 8, I mean, I think you would have to win the conference tournament to get a top 8. I think, if you sweep this weekend and, some of these other teams ahead of you kind of take care of business, like Alabama, Texas A&M kind of cinch up the top 8, it may not be super important. But, if you're trying to, have an outside chance at that top 8, or if you drop a game this weekend and you're trying to, get one of those host sites, I think it could prove to be important.
I have a question, Patrick. Who should Southern Miss fans be rooting against this weekend? You mentioned Alabama. I think that's a team that, and I know that a lot of, it's going to be hard for Southern Miss fans to root for Ole Miss, but, I mean, I would say an argument to that would be kind of rooting for Ole Miss to win that series in Tuscaloosa this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, rooting against Alabama, rooting against Florida, rooting against Florida State, rooting against Texas A&M. They're kind of, although if Texas A&M were to lose, Mississippi State could potentially, they can kind of flip-flop spots. So I don't know how advantageous that would be. But definitely Florida State, and Alabama are kind of those teams you're rooting against right now. West Virginia maybe as well.
That's a tough thing for me to digest.
What?
Pulling for Ole Miss. I mean, I don't know.
I was going to say cheering against those teams he mentioned. That's easy.
No, that's easy. The Ole Miss thing, that's a little bit of a hurdle there, Kelly.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I think it's not necessarily cheering for Ole Miss. It's just cheering against Alabama. You're not disappointed if Ole Miss wins that series.
That's right. I'm going to tell you who, Patrick, we all need to be cheering for are the Raging Cajuns, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the way the tiebreaker sets up, if USM and Coastal tie, Coastal would probably still be the 1 seed. But I mean, if USM were to sweep and Coastal were to drop 2 games, USM would have the outright regular season title and be that 1 seed in Montgomery next week.
That's the scenario that has to occur, right? Southern Miss has to sweep and Coastal has to lose 2 games for the Eagles to get the conference championship.
Outright.
Likely,
They'd share it.
If App State, yes. If App State were to drop out of that 3 spot and someone else came in there as a 4, like a Troy, they would have USM would be allowed with the 1 seed. But right now, App is in 3rd place, and they probably have a pretty good chance of staying there because that's what the tiebreaker is. There's no head-to-head.
Last question from me, Patrick. What is the one team that if USM had to face early in the tournament would concern you the most?
You talking about in the regionals or conference tournament?
No, the conference tournament.
I guess. Potentially ULL just because they could throw Andrew Herman in that early game. He's the lefty that really gave them USM trouble in that Saturday game in Lafayette, and I think he's potentially a bad matchup. So I think ULL will match up with them early in the tournament. That worried me a little bit.
I'd say Texas State. I mean, they're really playing well right now, and they'd have a lot to play for. One thing to keep in mind about the tournament next week, and Patrick, you could comment on this, is whoever plays Southern Miss, especially late, beating Southern Miss in the tournament would really boost their RPI if they're on the bubble, such as Louisiana, Texas State, or even a South Alabama.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's not only from an RPI perspective, but that's another Q1 game that Texas State and ULL, they're trying to get as many quad 1 wins as they can. On being on the bubble, so that would they'd be very motivated to have a lot to play for sure.
And to show you how wide open this thing is, you guys were all asked what team would scare you the most. You've all had different answers.
Yeah,
I have yet a different answer, which would be App State.
Yeah.
The Eagles played App State early in the year. That clearly was not the same App State team that is playing on the field now.
You know who else pitches well? Arkansas State.
They're not even guaranteed a spot yet.
I know.
Arkansas State's probably not going to make the tournament.
That's amazing.
Patrick, I tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall covering a tournament in the last few years that it just seems as wide open as this. I mean, it seems like I just wouldn't be shocked if there was someone other than Southern Miss and Coastal playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I think, especially those top 6 teams, just because they're not going to have to play in the playing game and burn their best starter. But, yeah, I mean, the Sun Belt, that's going to be a conference tournament the bubble teams are watching just because that would be a potential stolen bid if someone like South Alabama got hot or, one of these other teams like an App State. So, I mean, the bubble teams will definitely be rooting for USM and Coastal to take care of business next week.
Let's make a plan. Deem and I will be in Montgomery next week, but let's hook up with you again next Thursday from the tournament and kind of update where you think things stand. Is that good?
That sounds good.
We appreciate you, my man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I think Stats just kind of hangs out in the basement with his test tubes. And
he's smart. You ain't kidding. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from the play-by-play voice of Georgia Southern. He's in a depressed mood, but you can understand why.
Danny,
we'll be right back.
Big news from Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel. We've moved. You'll now find us directly behind our old building, right by Sawmill Animal Hospital. We're still your trusted electrical distributor, carrying everything from conduit to tape. And don't forget our full line of Milwaukee tools. Whether you're a contractor or a DIY pro, stop by the new Robinson Electric Supply at 1222 West 6th Street and see what's lighting up Laurel. Robinson Electric Supply. New location, same trusted service.
You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour. The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
Hey, welcome back. I want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings for hosting us down here today. It's always fun here, and a lot of memories down here. I told you I remember watching the team formerly known as the Redskins over by myself in the corner a few Sundays, and you said you were watching it here, the famous UAB football game that knocked Southern Miss out of the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, gosh. Almost exactly where we're sitting is where I was watching and couldn't believe my eyes.
I want to thank the manager for turning the air conditioner down, too. I mean, I thought for a while I was going to suffer frostbite before the show was over. Danny Reed does the play-by-play for Georgia Southern. The Eagles themselves, they're in town tonight for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday season concluding series. Ooh, that was a mouthful.
That was really a mouthful.
Good. Yeah. Danny, I know that y'all haven't had the best of years, but tell us what Southern Miss fans can look for out of your team tonight.
Well, I know they're excited for an opportunity to maybe play spoiler a little bit, but also at the same time, there's spots that still need to be won. There's reps that need to be had, whether it's at the plate or in the field or in the pitching staff. I'm thinking that a lot of guys are going to get a chance to show something this weekend. Now, the established guys sure will still be in, but don't be too surprised if you don't see some lineup flexibility because this coaching staff, well, one, you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to beat a top 10 team. That's something that Georgia Southern's done twice this year, but there also definitely has to be some consideration for, all right, how do we fix this next year? Because the offseason for this team is going to start Saturday night, regardless of how this series goes.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask you. This is a team that's kind of, jumped up and gotten a couple teams, such as the Coastal Carolinas. You guys beat Clemson. I mean, this is a team that, if you have one of those games where it just kind of all clicks, you've shown the ability to come up and bite a team in the Buhine.
Well, they know it's there, but the consistency piece has been very troubling for much of the season. The pitching has just been so bad at times, and I hate to just be that blunt about it, but when you've got close to a 9 ERA for the season, you're 54 games in, it's just something that it didn't get off to a very good start. There was a couple of games where Georgia Southern gave up more than 25 runs, and it immediately put them back, and while it's gradually come down over the last few months, it was going to be difficult to bring that to even a respectable level, but offensively, I mean, they can hit. I mean, you're hitting almost 290 as a squad. You're third in the league in hits, but you're 12th in the league in scoring at 6 runs a game. So it's proof that you can get guys on, but the getting them in part has been difficult. But the last few weeks has been a lot better, hitting close to 350 with runners in scoring position the last 13 games, and I'm hoping that more of that will surface this weekend.
Danny, when you look at outsiders who look at Sunbelt play, they'll say the big head scratcher this year in the league has been the performance of Georgia Southern. You mentioned the pitching woes, but what do you make of the whole season? This is very un-Gatta-like.
Having 16 freshmen and 25 newcomers, both of those are the highest that Rodney Hennon has had in 27 years. Also, spending the last 2 full seasons out of their own building, trying to get the construction of the Severson family facility finished. They did finally open it up last weekend. The Georgia State was in town, and they're gradually going to move everything over operation-wise from combined Hanner Fieldhouse and the parish administration building, so everybody can be under one roof. And that does have an impact when you're not in the same building. I do think that there's something to be said for your own space and being able to just develop as people as much as you do as players. And once they can get in there full time, take full advantage of the space and the technology, but also get this program back to where it should be, the hope is that this is just going to be a step away. But to be regardless, there's going to be a lot of tears after that game on Saturday, especially for the seniors. But it is a really good group. I wish they could have gotten some more wins, but I know that they are pretty fired up for a chance to not just play a team like this, but they know the crowds are going to be great because you guys are playing for something too.
Yeah. All right, Danny, before we let you go, big series down in Lafayette this weekend. Southern Miss fans really got their eyes on it. How do you see that turning out between Coastal and Louisiana?
Considering how Coastal is trending and considering how the Cajuns feel about the Chanticleers, I would go heavy on Louisiana this weekend.
No, I would tend to agree. Well, look, my man, we appreciate you coming on our show very much, and hope you have a good trip down here.
All right, you guys be good. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's get to the picks. I like Louisiana to beat Coastal 2 out of 3. Dima Mixon.
I have them sweeping Coastal. It's my hot take of the weekend. I think Louisiana sweeps Coastal.
Wow, that's gutsy. No, I like the 2 out of 3. I think that's the safest play.
Okay. Southern Miss, Georgia Southern.
If you call yourself a top 10 team and you think you should be hosting a regional, this should be really 3 run-ruled games. That's a high bar, I know, but these games should not be close. This is a really bad Georgia Southern team. You got to take care of business on senior weekend. And I think that's what's going to happen.
And I know Danny Reed says that they're the moral victory, that they're going to come in here and beat Southern Miss, but they know one way or the other their season is over on Saturday. To a degree, I think Georgia Southern has their suitcases half packed. I look for Southern to sweep.
I don't think that their hitting that he talked about has faced pitching like they're going to see this weekend. Their pitching is such, Southern Miss should score on them. And I just see the Southern Miss pitching staff suffocating another team for 3 games.
This is a team that you got to take your walks. They have one of the highest walks in the entire conference. They do not strike out a lot of batters. This is one of those games you take your walks, you punish mistakes, and you're going to score a lot of runs.
All right.
Do not help those pitchers beat you.
That's a great point. I will thank Buffalo Wild Wings for having us back. We're back in the studio tomorrow afternoon, have a recap of tonight's ball game. We'll see everybody at the Pete tonight. And until we do, Southern Miss
to the top.
Slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. I go through the revolution.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.